And we're live.
Welcome to the diner. I'm Nick.
I'm Trevor.
And Josh. I thought you were going to introduce us better than that, Nick.
Hey, well, I thought that Trevor was going to pick up right after I said it, but
That's not what we planned on.
You said you're going to introduce us.
Yeah, dude. That was fucking weak as shit.
I thought I was going with the announcing what we are, not the whole.
Nick always does this. He just
totally
has these really ambiguous comments, and then just goes with his intentions, but with verbiage that indicates something totally else entirely.
Hey man, it's not my fault that I presume that other people can just automatically assume my intentions.
Alright, well, in 3 weeks, Nick is going to do a 3-day no sleep challenge because he wants to shorten his lifespan a little bit more. So
already short lifespan.
But while he does that, I'm going to do a no eating challenge until he falls asleep. So in 3 weeks, get ready for Nick to not sleep.
Well, here's the thing about that is I'm definitely going to attempt the 72-hour no sleep challenge. Whether or not I can actually succeed at it is another story.
Yeah, I'm doubtful. I don't think you could do it.
Did we have some sort of bet as to, like, I win something if I manage to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something involving quest bars.
Oh, that's right. You were going to buy, like, 20 quest bars for me.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, now I really want to win.
Oh, yeah, Nick, I owe you money.
What?
Remember I bet we had that betting odd if Castro became the VP nominee?
Wait, did you bet yes on that?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, I totally forgot about that.
I mean, you win $1.
I want my dollar. I was 100% against Julian Castro as the VP nominee.
Well, you win $1.
You know that this is actually the first election where I've ever gotten one of the VP picks right. I said Tim Kaine, and Hillary was boring enough to make the safe choice in choosing Tim Kaine. So I feel pretty good about that.
I want to talk about the Trump stuff now. The stuff that we haven't been on the last couple of weeks. So I want you guys to talk about the nuclear comment first.
Oh, you mean how he said that he had to be talked out of why we can't use nuclear weapons on the global stage? He's like,
yes,
if we have them, why can't we use it? Yeah, so essentially Trump had kept repeatedly asking his foreign policy advisor. Trevor, do you remember which one it was?
Actually, that was going to be my question. Who signed up to be his foreign policy advisor?
Isn't it that one general dude?
Oh, yeah, it's that one general he likes.
Yeah, I'm going to look up his name right now because...
Yeah, but basically, most people, I would assume, would rationally try to avoid using nuclear weapons or avoid asking about it because it's never been used since the first times. So, presumably, you're not, talking about foreign policy, that's not something that'd come up. So the fact that he had to be repeatedly talked down is a little,
Right. So the general that's advising him is his name is Michael Flynn, but he's not the top foreign policy advisor. The top foreign policy advisor is a guy named Joseph Schmitz.
What is Mr. Schmitz known for?
He's a former Blackwater executive.
Wow.
Nice.
I know another big foreign policy guy is Ivanka's husband.
Yeah, what's his name? Kushner?
Yeah, he's pushed Trump to be more pro, I guess a more accurate way is pro-Netanyahu.
Jared Kushner, yeah. Oh, God. As if we need to be more pro-Netanyahu.
You know what I think this shows about Trump, though? Is that he's not just a crazy person acting crazy.
He's
just a crazy person.
Yeah, so I want to point out that both Trevor and I subscribed to the it's all an act, it's all a ruse, he's secretly a master of the game. It kind of turns out that he isn't really that much of a mastermind. He's just a monkey that's really good at throwing shit at a wall and it's sticking.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah. So going back to the primary, I presumed that the dude was like actually a secret genius, and he undoubtedly has social intelligence. But I thought I was mistaking social intelligence for tactical intelligence. It turns out that he just got really lucky, caught lightning in a bottle, and wrote it.
Yep.
And he, it's even funnier to think about now, considering that he took down like what was considered the greatest Republican field in a generation just a year ago. So I mean, think about it. He took down Jeb Bush, essentially rendered the Bush name irrelevant in the course of like a month or two. Then he took down Rubio, who was supposed to be the next great GOP hope. He took down Scott Walker in like, honestly, he took down Walker in like 3 weeks, and that was at the very beginning of the campaign.
He got Walker to say that we should build a wall on Canada.
I started thinking like Trump should just go out and start saying that he would be, like eat a whole bunch of bees to see if Scott Walker would actually do it. Because Scott Walker was copying him that much.
Yeah.
So yeah, he took down all the major contenders, and he did it essentially without even trying. Like there was no tactics really behind it. It was just it's one of the more amazing things that have happened in American politics, especially now that you kind of realize that he wasn't really thinking ahead. There was no grand strategy. There was no pivot. He just did it.
Yeah, I think only strategizing debatably was when he signed the pledge.
The pledge was smart.
Because now, I mean, he's basically buried Jeb and Cruz underwater because they broke a pledge the GOP made them sign.
Yeah, and didn't everybody have to sign a pledge?
Yes,
like,
yes.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to target Trump specifically, they made everybody sign it.
Well, I didn't even talk about Ted Cruz's career. Ted Cruz's career is like, I mean, I'd be really surprised if it can recover from this. The 2020 Republican nomination is completely wide open. We don't know who will be the nominee. Like, we didn't know that in 2012, as it turns out, but we generally had a good guess as to who it could be before Trump just came out of nowhere and just lit the entire world on fire.
Yeah.
Now it's just like there are no real major figures in the party except for Paul Ryan, and Paul Ryan is handicapped by being Speaker of the House in an unpopular Congress.
Yeah, so he can't do anything presidential, nor do I think he would. I think the thing with Trump is it's like a natural disaster. You know, you didn't see it coming, it just wiped everything out. So they're going to have to learn how to build the pieces. I mean, we joked about this earlier, like when they try to do like the, synopsis of what happened, like they did famously for 2012. The GOP's not going to know where to start.
I think of Donald Trump as like the Genghis Khan of the Republican Party. Like he just came out of nowhere, wiped out a ton of civilizations.
Genghis Khan. He also had no infrastructure and didn't care about all that shit. But he was an actual tactical genius.
That's true. And also the Mongols afterward, despite all their brutality, did wind up improving the world by stabilizing trade routes. But that's besides the point.
They lasted like another 100 years after his death too, so he didn't leave like a crumbling.
Yeah, the thing is the Mongol horde broke up into different khanates ruled by different sons of Genghis. But
the cool thing about them is that they kind of like
destruction went. Yeah,
they parallel the Sith in Star Wars. Really, the Sith fell apart because all the Sith tried to kill each other.
I think, another funny analogy you could make is Trump and his kids.
Actually lasted quite a while though. But beyond that, I mean, the main remnants of it did. But like, they had the Golden Horde was like a power in Russia for centuries afterward. Just like the descendants of the Mongols, after they had kind of intermarried with the local populations and stuff, but they did have quite like a lot of states that they left behind that did still have influence centuries later. It's just they weren't massively powerful.
Weren't the Mughals related to the Mongols?
Yes, they were. They
Yeah,
just
and then wasn't there like a Persian kingdom they had control over for a while?
um, what was the Persian kingdom? Oh, you talking about the Timurids?
Yeah,
Yeah, Tamerlane. Yeah, Tamerlane was like uh the thing about Tamerlane is he tried to reconquer a lot of what Genghis did, and he was really successful. But as soon as he died, it essentially fell apart too.
okay.
Yeah, but they had war elephants, dude. They're pretty cool. The Timurids are one of those like forgotten people of history that are really interesting.
There's so many forgotten people of history.
Yeah, but yeah, the
Yeah.
Timurid Empire. I think like it lasted till, geez, like early 1500s. They managed to like take some of Central Asia. They managed to expand into Turkey, but as far as I remember, after Tamerlane, it just kind of or Timur, it just kind of fell apart.
You guys want to pivot back to Trump's running mate a little bit, really quick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
History's great, but
you mean
Hey, man.
honestly? I haven't really
History
heard.
is the best predictor of future behavior.
that's
Yeah,
fair. Although I don't think you
I
would
don't.
want to see Trump in the
We do
80s.
we do compare things a little bit too much historically, though. Like we always try to look for historical patterns.
That's because humans are just always looking for
Exactly.
patterns.
Yeah.
We're always looking for patterns.
Realistically, like it's way different than 1968. That's just the last big major year with like a ton of turmoil in it, as far as
Yeah,
America goes.
like the conventions went way better than it did this year than in '68. That was one thing I thought would happen that didn't
Yeah,
happen.
I thought the Republican convention was going to be a lot. The Democratic convention, like, it could have gone worse, but they managed to stabilize it. Like, but in the first couple of days, like there was all those like Bernie chants, and they had. I think they even had a.
The audio, one of your guys' audio is being all fucked up.
Okay, I'm gonna try talking right now. Is it fine?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay.
Yeah, my audio has been fluctuating too. I was saying the Bernie supporters had a fart in. They ate a bunch of
Oh
beans
yeah,
and just farted a bunch.
that's gross.
Yeah,
What?
no, that's
Real
just
mature.
terrible.
No, yeah, but as far as like, there is one interesting comparison though between 2016 and 1968 that we never really talk about. But the economy was really good in 1968.
Yeah, I
And
think
it was just like
actually.
everything about America is falling apart except for the economy. The
Yeah,
economy's fine.
I think actually either '67 or '68 we actually had a budget surplus despite Vietnam.
Yeah.
It's like really like, it makes no sense. Like
I think we were at a slight deficit
Hey,
still.
war is good for the economy, man.
the Vietnam War overall wasn't. Maybe
Yeah.
Or was a disaster. There's yeah, but what I was going to say is even though the economy is structurally unsound as it is, in its current state, it couldn't really be doing much better. Like, even, especially the state economy in California, like the state of California this last year grew 3% in terms of economic growth.
Mm-hmm.
did you hear about the new jobs report that just came out?
Isn't it better than the one in June, too?
Yeah, we have like super high, 255,000 jobs, and they redid the numbers for June and May and added like an extra 20,000.
You know, I have a theory. We're going to see an even bigger one for the July jobs report because
This was the July report.
oh, I mean the August report because we're going to have a huge profit increase from small businesses because of two words, Pokemon Go.
It's Pokemon
That's-
Go's usage is declining so much though.
Yeah, I know.
And not only that, it's like the company isn't like fostering a way to make it better. It's like it's doing stuff Like it's still popular in spite of what the company's been doing.
Well, the game, honestly, the game mechanics were pretty shitty. It was just kind of
Yeah,
fun
it's a
to do.
beautiful broken game
Yeah.
that sells because it's Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't really think that beyond this summer that you were going to have 150 people hanging out downtown or in parks.
That'd be amazing though. Like if that just became a cultural staple, playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah, but like realistically, that wasn't going to happen. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
but I mean, it was pretty fun while it lasted. With like, just go downtown, just run into people, 300 people there.
Yep.
You go to like, I remember going to the park, and there'd be like 500 people walking around like it was a real life MMO.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Another thing with the
Rest in
job,
peace.
another thing with the jobs report is that we'll find out in the next few weeks, but they might actually finally raise the interest rate through the Fed,
Really?
which I'm really in favor of.
We should at this point.
Because Europe and Japan are starting to do negative interest rates. Somebody has to get the global interest rates back up into the positive territory,
Right.
and I'm hoping the Fed does that, because the Fed basically, or not the Fed, but other groups with a negative interest rate, a lot of them are ignoring a really big problem. If you keep doing negative interest rates, people are just going to hoard cash.
Yeah.
So
That's
you
what
can't.
Japan's doing right now. They're doing
Oh,
negative
yeah.
interest rates.
Yeah, Europe's starting doing it too. And the thing is once you start going down, it's like, oh hey, it doesn't matter. We just cut negative as far as we want. But then the problem is people just start hoarding cash. It's like hyperinflation but backwards.
Right.
You just keep saving all that money.
Yeah, like the new money doesn't get printed.
We
but
need-
whatever money
We
exists
need
is
people.
hoarded.
That's the funny thing is, it's like culturally we want people to save money and take control of their finances, but
Well, yeah,
as
you want to create a safety net
society-
so people take more
As
risks.
society, though, we need people to spend money in order for the economy to grow.
Yep.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think typically America has a below average savings rate for what's considered optimal.
Mm-hmm.
And Japan historically has had a lot closer to that rate, and that's kind of a big thing that's been helping them. But now it's gone too high for them, just because everybody's old.
Right. They're working
So-
their pyramid population's all backwards.
Yeah, so yeah, it like fortunately, hopefully, raising the rate will start dealing with it. The issue is because finances are so globalized, inflation is super low, and so the Fed traditionally only raised the interest rate to fight inflation.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is if we go back to a recession and the Fed has the interest rate at zero, there's nothing that they can do. So I argue that raising the interest rate would actually help the economy because it let investors know, hey, we're stabilized enough. You can invest in us because the Fed will back you up if bad stuff happens.
Right.
But that hasn't happened yet. So hopefully it'll eventually happen. Credit has been cheap for so long. Anybody who wanted to do a long-term investment has already done it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's only going to affect people that do short-term loans. It's not going to do anything crazy. So just bad news for Trump. If the economy keeps going up and the Fed raises the interest rate in September,
Well,
it's going to be a landslide for Hillary.
Well, here's the interesting thing: is the economy is like pretty much, like I said, as fine as it could possibly be. Nobody's really paying attention to it, and the perception is that it isn't. So, I mean, a lot of like a huge majority, or not a huge majority, sorry, a huge amount of people look at these job report numbers now and think they're fixed because truth.
Yeah, I've heard arguments from Republicans about how the numbers are misguided because they make up a number and then they go off and assume that number is true, and then that's how they say they create jobs. But
Yeah.
it's really easy to like. There's lots of jobs right now.
Yeah, the thing is they don't really have any incentive to believe that it is getting better because it does not fit the narrative, and the narrative has become more powerful than the actual facts.
Yep.
This
So-
could be the Berkeley part of me talking, but I definitely think with increased income inequality, it definitely makes it so, at least for some people,
For sure.
it definitely creates an effect where, as opposed to like '68 or back in those
Of
days.
of course, but those people aren't generally voting Republican.
Yeah,
They
and they're
are, they
not.
are now.
They're also not in the media.
They are more now, but like the people that are saying this are generally middle class, upper middle class people who shouldn't be feeling that level of effects from the economy. Generally, they work white collar jobs. Um, of course, like I'm not going to make the argument that the economy still isn't structurally unsound because it is. A lot of jobs left and like straight up never came back.
Right.
For the people that are complaining about it, for the most part, um, they are ones that are relatively insulated from those effects.
Yeah. If we kept having job reports like this for like a year, then I would say we have a very strong labor market. But we still have a ways to go, just because the recession knocked out so much.
Another interesting thing about that's kind of gone unnoticed is that Obama's approval rating is above 50 right now.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't.
Yeah, I'm impressed
Much
by
either.
that. Usually, no matter what they come out, everyone hates them.
Towards the last year, generally speaking, there is a decline in terms of popularity with two-term presidents. Bush had already bottomed out. Clinton is the exception to the rule because he kind of bottomed out in '99 with the Lewinsky scandal, but his approval rating remained high, but his favorability rating like was low.
Uh huh.
But life was so good in the year 2000 that like there wasn't really much to complain about. Reagan's numbers declined towards the end of his presidency, and then you have to go back to have a full two-term president. You have to go back to like Johnson and Eisenhower because Ford was only in there for like 3 years. Carter was only in there for 4 years. Um, but generally speaking, there is a decline in the last year, followed by after the new president is elected, there's a bounce on the level of about 5 to 10 points as people start to get nostalgic about the last president before he leaves.
Right.
So when Obama leaves office, he will probably be. I would wager to say he'll probably be at about 55%, and that will be his max.
Okay. I think the reason
I could be wrong, but I think I'm right.
I feel like the reason why he's going up now is just the nostalgia is already kicking in.
Well, because
Because of
also
the general election.
also I think the majority of people, I don't think there's anybody on the like very few people on the Democratic side that prefer Clinton to Obama, and on the Republican side they just hate both of them with white fire hotness. So. I think that is what's making people a little bit more nostalgic.
And he loves basketball. And who doesn't love a really cool president?
Yeah, that's true. Coolness factor will significantly drop next year.
Yeah, it will, big time. We're going to go from our cool black president to Hillary or Trump or some other, like, Republican guy.
Well, I mean, if you believe the conspiracy theory that Trump is going to get replaced at some point, but
It could happen, man. Trump.
No, but we're passing the deadlines pretty rapidly.
Yeah.
You could always change the dates as to when you could replace people on the ballot, but as it stands now, we've already passed Arizona's, we've passed North Carolina's, I think.
Yeah.
I may need to check the North Carolina one. Ohio is sometime this week when the ballot deadline passes. They're kind of chained to the guy. So
Yeah.
but I am pretty certain at this point that Trump will not win the election. I'd be willing to take the winnings that I won.
The $1?
What?
The $1?
No, dude, the $1,000.
Oh. I don't know, I'm referring to Trevor's bet.
At this point, I'd be willing to take the winnings that I won and bet them on Hillary to win the election. Except I would never do that because the payoff and the risk factor isn't really. I don't want to lose $1,000 if the unthinkable happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let's run some scenarios. The next 4 years with Hillary versus the next 4 years with Trump. What do you think happens?
Trump is impossible to predict.
You
So,
you can
like-
you can't predict Trump because Trump's
Give me 4 scenarios. Best case, worst case for both of them.
the best case scenario for Trump was let's do this one first because this one I'm pretty certain won't happen. The best case scenario for Trump is he wins the election and the only thing we get out of it is race riots and inner city conflict. The absolute worst case scenario with Trump is, the end of the world due to a nuclear holocaust.
Okay. What's the second worst case scenario that doesn't involve the human race apocalypse?
I mean, he could get impeached really early on.
That could happen.
That could very easily happen.
Yeah,
Or
that sounds more like a best case scenario.
Yeah, that actually is.
Here's another worst case.
Are we looking at the best case scenario for Trump or for the country?
All right, do best case for Trump and the country.
The best case scenario for Trump is he continues to divide and conquer and makes the left more fractious. In the event of a Trump election, it drives the left wing into a Tea Party like overdrive in which they keep self-sabotaging themselves by making themselves more and more unpalatable to the public. Like the left just goes full college left. But I don't think that will happen because I don't think college leftists are ultimately that influential.
They cannibalize each other.
Yeah, but essentially what Trump could hope for is the cannibalization of the left. There will be a lot of violence and riots and protests, but that's pretty much all. And then he somehow, the economy stays good. He manages to take some level of credit for it. We kind of have a rapprochement with Russia. ISIS gets defeated anyway. And we kind of have standoffs with our allies, but that's about as far as it gets. That is really hopeful. And it's also a really bad scenario.
Comments.
What?
I have 2 quick comments.
Yeah.
I think a worst case for Trump personally would be if he won the Electoral College but lost the popular vote, just because
oh Jesus,
that's like nuclear, it's basically nuclear holocaust in a political sense. And the other thing,
actually, I have an even worse case scenario for Trump. He gets shot before the election.
Okay,
let's be honest. That could happen.
Hey, you know what though, man? If Obama didn't get shot with the amount of racists we have in this country, I don't think Trump would get shot.
And with the terrible Secret Service that just spends their time at Columbia hookers' houses.
Oh yeah, well that was one time, but
yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to go to a hooker house every now and then?
Yeah.
Anyway, the other comment is I always mention my October, if there is going to be an October surprise this year, at this point it's meaningless because Trump sunk his campaign, but that ISIS could be defeated in Iraq because the military is organized.
That's something
Syria.
That's something we never talk about, but that definitely stands a very good chance of happening by the election.
Yeah, Syria, Assad and the Russians just made a huge victory against the rebels. They just captured Aleppo, basically.
Yeah, so Assad will remain in power. The rebels will be defeated. ISIS will be defeated, same as it ever was.
Yeah, it's just a reset. Assad isn't a valuable ally at all.
Yeah.
The only reason the Russians do it is because they are trying to relive the glory days when they had a bunch of allies in the Middle East when they were the Soviet Union. It's essentially pointless. It's it helps. I guess it makes their friendship with Iran slightly closer. But other than that, the nuclear deal went through. So, I mean, there's
all those rumblings about the nuclear deal, though, that I honestly haven't really read that much up on. But talk about the nuclear deals. The Ayatollah said something the other day about we're not beholden to any deal, but
he said that before though.
Yeah, he's a troll.
Yeah, Ayatollah's job is to be a professional troll.
Oh, there's another thing I wanted to talk about with the money that we gave to Iran and the hostages being released.
Trevor, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I think I know about this a good amount. So we had these Navy people, quote unquote, that were too close to the Iranian border waters, and so they took them. and then they interrogated them. They gave a little bit of information, but nothing too bad, if I recall correctly. And then they got sent out pretty quickly. And at the time, it was shown as like a huge progress in relationship with Iran because we were able to get people out really quick.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out we gave money for it. But the thing is, nobody's talking about it, so it's moot.
Yeah. Besides, Reagan did it.
Yeah. I mean, like, if nobody talked about the Iran hostages,
I mean, of course.
But Obama
Of course,
denied that it was for the hostages too, which I thought was interesting.
oh, okay. There is a supposedly, I think there was like a treaty we made in '79 with the Shah or something that we just were legitimizing as part of a negotiation with them, like the video Trump talked about with the money. That's supposedly classified video that he talked about. I think that's the same money. So I don't think it's pretty much not affected Obama at all.
Yeah, I don't think people really care.
Yeah, I mean the thing is Iran's not made any nuclear advancements because of the treaty, and they haven't really done anything because their population is so young and so secularized that like they're more worried about the youth revolting against them again. They don't want to.
So
I actually think it's pretty cool that we got all our hostages back.
Oh yeah, it's great. I'm glad nobody died.
But taking into consideration, though, the Democrats, for the most part, their activist wing, does not give a shit about foreign policy anymore. That was purely a bludgeon issue against George W. Bush. Hillary will be a much more hawkish president than Obama was.
Mm-hmm.
And Obama himself wasn't the dove that he was portrayed to be. A lot of the policies he continued were generally just Bush's, except made more pragmatic and not invading the hell out of places.
Yeah.
But we're like the Democratic Party right now has made an anti-Russia pivot and is saber rattling with the Russians and has labeled them an adversary when as early as 8 years ago, they were saying that they were not. They were not a foe. They were a geopolitical partner. They weren't. They're or they or the very most they say, oh, they're a competitor in some aspects, but in others they're a partner. Now they've completely turned it. So it's kind of interesting because it kind of represents the death of the anti-war left. They've essentially been kind of isolated. Because even Sanders' foreign policy wasn't different than Obama's.
I think there's two legitimate reasons for why.
Think of all the anti-war protests that went on when Bush was president, and then Obama gets into power, expands the security state, doesn't invade anywhere. He commits like bombings over Somalia and Libya, obviously, and but continues the wars and draws them down. But there are no meaningful anti-war protests in the entire presidency.
I think with the two people on the with the Russia thing, I think one of them is just trying to counter Trump by just pointing out that he's friendly with this guy. Most people running for president at least shouldn't be. It's just going to.
They have labeled him an adversary, though.
Yeah, but I mean, the other thing is, Putin, like 2008, was. I mean, he's moved more dictatorial in the past 8 years, like amending the Constitution to make him president longer, and all that other stuff. So I mean, he pivoted himself too.
But here's the thing, though, with that, Trevor, is Putin in 2008 during the election invaded the Republic of Georgia.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he was still an aggressive expansionist asshole.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Yeah, I think
like,
it's just.
Honestly, I'm no friend of Putin. I don't like. I think what he's doing in Russia is awful. I do think that he is a threat to the stability of the world, or at least the order in which we prefer the world to be in. not necessarily the American order, but towards a more multipolar world.
Mm-hmm.
He is propping up states that don't believe in democracy, and as are we, of course. But
Yeah.
yeah,
He doesn't
but,
enforce.
but the thing is, though, it is really interesting to note that the Democrats have done like a 180 on this. Well, maybe not quite a 180, but they've definitely pivoted towards an anti-Russia policy. Like there's been military exercises in the Baltic states.
Yeah.
That nobody is talking about.
I had a friend who was in one of the older ones a few years back with Estonia. I mean, it makes sense. Like, I mean, if you looked at it from not a politics, but just policy-wise, you would be better off, supporting NATO, supporting these countries in Europe than not. So maybe they just, I don't know, learn their lesson once they got in power.
I gotta say, though, I do love the fact that Trump is an unwitting, or maybe not, Russian agent.
I love that quote by Trump. I've never met him. I never got dinner with him. I never hiked with him. I'm not in a relationship with him. Like, that's just the silliest way to argue that you're not have a relationship with him. I never went hiking with him.
I mean, that's like a rite of passage for friendship for me. Like, me and Nick aren't officially friends because that motherfucker won't go hiking with me.
Oh yeah, that's right. My fucked up back and all that.
He won't hike. He fucking won't do it. And I'm just sitting here going, when are me and Nick gonna be friends? But that's just the way it goes. Some people just don't want to be friends.
Challenge is like a substitute for a hike.
What is?
The not sleeping, not eating thing. I feel like that's a little bit more.
Well, I've already fasted for 3 days before. It's not that much of it. My fast is going as long as Nick doesn't sleep.
I know, but like that's something shared.
I'm terrified of what I'm going to start saying once I get to like 50, 60 hours on no sleep.
I'm really interested to see how much you get fucked up on no sleep too. But I don't think you can get to 60 hours. I think you'll pass out at like 40 hours. You know what? 40 hours is totally possible. I'm going to say 48 hours.
I've done 60 hours with 4 hours of sleep in between.
That doesn't count then.
Yeah, I know. But I don't think it's that much of a stretch that I could just stay up.
No, dog. I mean, just think about sleep like water, except a little bit longer. Because food, we can go without food for like months, depending on your body. And for sleep, for water, you can only go 3 days. You can start feeling really thirsty pretty quick. But for like sleep, it's 11 days. So like those 4 hours, that matters a lot. Like a lot.
It's like going through the desert and you just randomly get like, a cup of water.
Josh, can you imagine what it's going to be like when we're working out at the gym?
You're going to work out while doing that? I thought you said you were going to do all your workouts before the 3-day no sleep challenge and then like somehow like pivot into like getting all your stuff worked out somehow before the 3-day challenge and a little bit after so it coincides with your rest day.
I could. Yeah, I guess.
You have 3 weeks to plan this out, so there's no reason why you have to work out on your. I was
initially thinking that we were going to do it next weekend, like we thought.
Yeah. But then you're like, I have to worry about school.
Yeah. Classes.
Jumps.
Shut up! You already graduated.
Hey, Trevor, you should get in on. You should come up with your own challenge to do with us in 3 weeks. It doesn't have to be the same as ours. It could be the same as mine, but you could come up with your own thing.
I'll look up challenges online and I'll announce it before it happens.
Awesome. And
Trevor, do the 10,000 calorie challenge.
No, Trevor's on a cut, dog.
Mostly successful cut.
Nice. That's good.
There were a couple days that messed up, but like
that happens to everyone, dog.
Yeah. It's very realistic for me.
10,000 calories would be no problem. I could do that.
Yeah.
Like, if it's over the course of a day, there's no way I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to plan it out, but I could do it.
It's just like, just have 2,000 calories for 5 meals.
Yeah, it's not hard at all.
So, pivoting back, do you guys want to start talking about Battleground States a little bit?
Yeah, let's do that.
Sure.
because Trump is amazing, and that the states that he's losing are starting to impress me, and that's hard to do.
Georgia, Arizona.
Missouri,
Wait, Georgia would
Oh, wait,
rather
Missouri
elect.
too.
yeah, Hillary's leading in Missouri.
What?
And I thought that state was gone for the Democrats for like ever now. That's
Well,
pretty crazy.
I've
I
talked
guess
to some Southerners, and they're like, some of them like during the Obama election, like I've talked to liberal Southerners, and they said some of the Southerners that they've talked to is like, there ain't gonna be no black man that will be president of me. So it's like I'm surprised that they'd rather have a woman in than
um,
Trump.
Missouri has two major cities, so I mean it's not unrealistic.
Well, okay, Missouri was a swing state historically speaking. Like it
Right.
was a swing state in '04. It almost voted for Obama in '08. But the thing is, it shifted against Obama so hard in 2012 that the fact that it actually stands a pretty decent chance of reverting to the Democrats is pretty crazy. You know what? That also has interesting implications because there's a competitive Senate race going on there right now too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the Senate looking like? Do you think the Democrats will be able to take it back?
They'll take it back. They'll probably win about 7 seats. I would say 6, 7 seats makes sense.
How many do
With
these?
the possibility, the absolute worst case scenario for the GOP would be about maybe 10 seats, which would be ridiculous and pretty unprecedented.
Yeah. How many House seats do you think they'll win? I know it's really hard to predict, but
I don't know enough about House seats to comment. There are a lot of Republicans that are in. They're in a lot of in a lot of Democrat leaning districts that they won in 2014 that they really have no business like leading in.
oh right,
I just got to remember the state, like the Republicans are. They redrew the maps in 2010, so they have a lot of advantageous places. I mean, the courts threw out the maps in Virginia and North Carolina to make them a little bit more fair, but that'd be like only that would probably only result maybe in like a 2 seat gain for the Democrats. I think the Democrats can gain about. They need 30 to retake it.
Yeah.
I think they could gain about 20 to 25.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like if they won it back, that'd be like a really legitimate landslide, like the first in our lifetime crazy landslide.
Mhm.
But like they could easily get 25.
But here's the interesting thing: in a Hillary presidency, if the Republicans lose 25 seats in the House, and the Democrats retake the Senate, that doesn't mean that there can't be any legislation that goes on in the House. Because Paul Ryan, I feel as if the Republicans will be beaten so badly that they could probably get immigration reform out of it.
Oh yeah, I feel like you can totally get immigration reform at this point, especially
It's like you can convince you could convince 6 people to vote for it.
yeah. And I mean
Back it.
the other thing with the GOP is that the 2012 moratorium they wrote when they lost for Romney is pretty much just like in like giant red letters like support immigration reform.
Here's the funny thing about that, though, is the Republicans think that they could win over Hispanic votes just by supporting immigration reform, when they should, like, if they realistically want to win Hispanics, they have to change the orientation of the party as far as not only its rhetoric, but
Mhm.
a lot of its piecemeal issues. Like, you're not going to win because, oh, we support immigration. Also, we love religion. Like, that's just not going to happen. There's a lot of other reasons why Hispanics vote for the Democrats, chiefly economics, the fact that they're much poorer on average than whites are. They have economic policies that incentivize them to vote Democrat.
Mhm.
The Republicans would have to really reinvent. They have to get rid of the we need tax cuts for the upper class.
Yeah, because that doesn't resonate with any.
That nobody gives a shit. Nobody in the Republican Party, people in the Republican Party care, but a majority of Republican voters now want taxes raised on the bracket higher than $250K a year.
I think most people.
They want another bracket created for millionaires.
You know what's funny? You know who proposed that?
Who?
Bernie.
Yeah.
Bernie his tax policy is what most Americans want, which is really trippy. Well, at least in that respect.
Yeah, but he's a communist.
He's not a communist.
He's a communist. My mom
I
told
don't
me.
like communists, and calling Bernie a communist is an insult to communists.
Yeah. Well, there's also a nuance for socialism. There's not just one type of socialism either.
Yeah,
There's
but
democratic socialism, which I mean we have lots of social democratic features in our country.
yeah, but there's a big difference between democratic socialists and social democrats. It's just a weird linguistics thing that they happen to sound similar.
Yeah.
Everyone turns
Like
into
the fact that Bernie labels himself a democratic socialist is really annoying. Because
Yeah, I hate that too. It's like my mom was like, Josh, he said he was a socialist.
well, like I have no doubt that he believes that he is a socialist, and he definitely exists in the umbrella of policies that are linked and derived from socialist ideals.
Yeah.
But he's a social democrat.
Yeah.
He believes
Which is really different than just socialist.
Yeah,
believes in a fundamentally, at least his policies are anyway. I don't know if I can't really speak for the man personally, but I would wager that he thinks this is the case, that there should be free markets at the lower level, that there should be private ownership of businesses in the economy, but that the government should provide a level of services and take over the main industries which we all kind of use.
Right.
Yeah.
Like should share. And
Yeah,
at least in socialist theory. The thing about that is like the Europeans like also have a really bastardized version of socialism as far as their languages go now. Like the Labour Party, well, the Labour Party has actually moved towards
actual socialism.
legit socialism, but like that's kind of different. But the French Party, the French Socialist Party, or however you say it in French, they support a basic free market economy with mixed government services, universal health care, infrastructure spending, high levels of taxation to pay for this, a high social safety net, low retirement age.
Yeah, like
They support that stuff.
like it's a left-leaning policy.
But they still label themselves socialists.
Yeah.
That isn't really actually socialism. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what's interesting is that most Americans in the ages of 18 through 29 now identify or as preferring a socialist economic system to a capitalist economic system, except the socialist system that they're supporting is still a capitalist system fundamentally.
Yeah, like
It's just not an unfettered capitalist system.
to be socialist, it would have to mean like nationalization at a pretty large scale.
Yeah,
And outside of healthcare,
Bernie was never advocating that.
yeah, he only talked about that in healthcare, which
Now,
is like
Jeremy Corbyn in the UK, he's advocating that.
yeah, he's talking about nationalizing a bunch of stuff, which is why like I can't call Bernie a socialist.
But I would call Bernie a socialist because he says he is, but at this time the term's essentially meaningless because we have defined socialist to mean so many different things. The Republicans,
Yeah.
all liberals are socialists. I would say that the Republicans actually played a really big role in their own like demise in this sense, and like the fact that most young people prefer socialism because they labeled essentially all government policies that most people support as socialism.
Yep.
Like they labeled infrastructure spending as socialism. They labeled
Why would we want
universal
super awesome transit?
what?
Why would we want super awesome transit? That's socialism.
Yeah, no, like it's and no doubt they are derived from leftist ideals, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are socialists because conservatives implemented these sorts of policies historically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's just more government intervention. But
Yep.
the government being large doesn't mean that it's necessarily leftist.
Right.
Yeah, you can have a conservative government.
Even the term socialist is essentially meaningless because the Nazis used it. And the Nazis were not champions of the working man.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think they tried to come off that way though to everyone that wasn't Jewish.
Okay.
They had
They blamed the
here's-
Jewish, right? The
Josh,
Jewish were the rich bankers. That was their platform, right?
Josh, here's the thing about the Nazis, okay?
Uh-huh.
Nazis yes, they did portray themselves in the sense that they were for the common individual.
That's why
However,
they had
and
to
they
kill
did
the
pursue
Jews.
policies that did uplift people or try to. However, they did it in conjunction with industrial titans, large conglomerations, and hierarchies of people.
Yep. Yep.
You can't
Yep.
have that while purporting to be leftist.
Another thing about the Nazis, just a very quick aside before we could move on. The Nazis actually had a far left group within them, and when Hitler took power, he killed all of them.
Yeah.
So, like, at one point, they could have went differently.
The Nazis essentially what we've essentially done historically is we've kind of looped them all together into this one sort of grouping. And for the most part, it makes sense. However, the Nazis were ambiguous as to what they really did support. They supported making Germany great again.
Yeah.
That's what they supported.
I don't support that. Fuck Germany.
Yeah. Well,
They're like Canada to me.
Like, that's it. Interesting.
nice country, dude.
Fuck both those countries.
All right, duly noted.
But
Well, here's another going back to
You know,
Trump
I actually like Germany.
century.
I like them much more than the French. The French remind me of Canadians more than German.
Okay.
what do you have against Canadians?
They're like the French.
How?
They're both,
Besides the people that live in Quebec.
they're just whiny. They have shitty accents. They talk. Well, the French don't talk so, but Canadians talk so, and that pisses me off.
Dude, I've never heard a whiny Canadian, dude.
I've
Dude,
never heard
they're all
of Canadians
whiny.
talking slow.
How are they all whiny? For the
And
most
they all talk
like
like
Minnesotans. They're
they
like
all talk
please
really
don't.
slow, man. They have to. I have to enunciate every vowel.
People in Vancouver talk like us, dude.
No way. They have to enunciate every fucking vowel,
People in
man.
Vancouver-
Yeah, you're
Vancouver
talking about
talk
like
just
the
like us.
Toronto version of Canadian English.
Anyway, to move back to the topic, what do you think the chances of Trump pulling out of the debates are?
25%.
Okay, that's what I'd say.
Does he have incentive to go into the debates?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Why would he pull out of the debates?
I don't
Who the hell
know.
knows?
The system's rigged. He wants to, like, I don't know, put his money where his mouth is. If he thinks the system's rigged, then he just shouldn't show up to debates. I guess that's what is going through his head right now.
That's a non sequitur, right? Because that doesn't make any sense.
It's Trump. It's not supposed to make
Yeah, yeah. It makes sense in a very bizarre thinking process.
Can you make this not a non sequitur? Can we somehow make this logical of how not participating in the
By
debates
showing
shows
up, okay. Here's my attempt at it, which is pretty bad. Trump doesn't want to go to the debates because him showing up legitimizes a system he doesn't support, and by not going, he's able to protest it.
But that's obvious bullshit.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's
it's obvious.
participated
I'm
in the
trying to
system
make-
for the last year.
Yeah. No, he did leave one debate.
Yeah, and that debate cost him Iowa, which is funny.
Yep.
If he hadn't pulled out of that debate, he probably would have ran the table.
I'm
And what
actually
if he-
surprised by how much the debates matter.
They don't.
It's not that the debates themselves matter. It's that the fact that people debate matter because the media narrative matters.
Yeah, like if you don't show up, that's a big deal.
The media narrative matters. What's actually said in the debates is less so.
Yeah,
Like,
I
the
mean,
media kept Rubio alive by saying he had great debates, like when he didn't have great debates.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
no one, the common voter really doesn't watch the debates.
Or the common voter doesn't remember the debates. They'll
Right.
remember a soundbite or two. Like there's a few moments that like, okay, Rubio, the whole robot Rubio movement when Christie like nuked the shit out of him. People remembered that because in real time, I'm in real time watching that. I was like, wow, he just lost. He definitely just lost his chance at finishing second in New Hampshire, and he probably just lost his chance at the nomination.
yeah, that was crazy.
If that did not happen, Rubio is probably the nominee right now.
Huh.
I don't know if I could say that all the way, but it's definitely possible.
It's definitely on the table though.
Yeah, it's very easily on the
It
table.
It probably goes to broken convention.
Oof. Let's not go there.
That actually could have been pretty fun. Now,
Yeah.
with how awful the RNC was this year, like just the fact that they had like reality TV stars talking,
Uh-huh.
it it could have been pretty fun.
My favorite person who talked was the head of Trump Winery. The history of Trump Winery is super fascinating.
You know, there's a Trump winery up in Napa.
Yeah. I heard about that. So Virginia, the Trump Winery is the largest winery in Virginia. It was started by like this like socialite, like society lady who just basically bought it with her money, and she built it up really big, and then she went bankrupt because it wasn't really making money. So Trump bought the property around the winery, put up fake no trespassing signs, even though you could have walked onto the property, and then just let weeds overgrow and to drop the value of the property. It was a very smart business plan, but it's illegal and highly unethical.
Okay, I want to also now talk about America's global image based on the Pew Global Research Center. So right now, this is what everyone else thinks about America. Canada is 68% favorable. Italy is 83. Poland's 74. France is 73. UK is 65. Spain is 65. Germany's 50. Ukraine is 69. Russia's 15. Israel's 81. Lebanon's 39. Turkey 29. Palestinians 26. Jordan 14.
Palestinians have us rated that high?
Yeah.
That's
pretty
impressive.
crazy.
All the Asian countries except China are favorable with us, and Pakistan. The Philippines really love us at 92.
Yeah, it's funny. We left there because of the military bases. We left them, and then they immediately brought us back like a few years later, just because of China rising.
So the median is 24% unfavorable for the rest of the world and 69% favorable.
That's really good, especially considering like China and Russia are pretty big countries.
Right.
I mean, there's not really that much to say about it besides the fact that they prefer having Democrats in office. The Democrats are a much better.
Right. So I wanted to talk about if Trump gets elected, how that
number will shoot down so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Israel presumably would stay the same. I'm guessing, just because
Israel would stay the same.
Yeah,
you could probably that France number you could probably put at 5-10% at that point.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in like I don't know some random Eastern European countries like where his wife's from, maybe they'll go up just for the lulz, and Russia go up, but it's gonna be bad everywhere. China could go up a lot. That'd be really funny, but it wouldn't lead to anything.
China's only at 44 though, so I mean we could swing it back in our favor.
The American empire benefits from having Democrats in office. Even though they pursue, foreign policy-wise, the policies they choose are generally not all that different than what the Republicans pursue.
Mm-hmm.
They are perceived a lot better, and they're a lot more tactful with what they do.
Yeah, because
realistically, like Bush's second term wasn't really that different than Obama's like last 2 terms.
Yeah, in a weird way. Yeah, I think the only difference is supposedly Hillary is really unpopular among the Communist Party.
Mm-hmm.
So Trump might be able to be positive just because the communists think that they can manipulate him the way Putin may or may not have.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's for most people in China, it's going to be meaningless.
Are there any surprises on the list for you?
I'm surprised Israel's that high. I mean, it'd be high.
Palestine's that high, dude.
Yeah, that's true. Are you away from your mic?
Yeah, he is. He's probably getting food.
It's fine now, though.
Okay, because we can hear you when you get up.
Yeah.
Those all seem pretty normal. Obama's good for America's image in most places. Everywhere else where we're low, it's not nothing he can control.
Right.
We're not going to get a more popular guy that's like going to be more popular in some other country.
Yeah.
In 2010, Russia was actually viewing us as favorable.
American numbers should go down when Hillary's elected, and they definitely become a lot more variable when she becomes elected, but not as far as they would be with Trump.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of politics in Russia that also kind of influenced Americanism. Like, the Democrats did the pivot, but I mean, Russia also moved to be more anti-American, and with Crimea and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's nothing Obama could have fixed.
I think it was funny when Trump essentially denied that Putin invaded Ukraine. That was great.
I love his response. He said, "Oh, I know I said that. I mean, it wouldn't happen under my watch." And it's like, right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Good luck
Trump's
with that
perfect,
one.
man. He has the best people.
He does not have the best
He has the
people.
best people.
Who are these
He
people?
has the best ones.
It's Carl Icahn every single time.
Yeah,
I've got Carl Icahn. I also
Manafort,
got Manafort.
Stone,
You know what? I
his
can't help
kids.
it. I can't help it. Manafort and Stone are evil, but I love them.
Oh
They're
yeah,
hilarious.
they are the best bad guys ever. Like
They're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
yeah, but they have no control over Trump, so
Yeah,
it's
no, they
pointless.
lost.
He doesn't listen to them, so it's meaningless. I think he listens to just his kids and his wife, and his
Yeah,
like son-in-laws
yeah.
or son and daughter-in-laws.
But Roger Stone, man, what a bastard of a person. But like, god damn, is he's a very stylish villain.
Yes, he literally he owns a fashion blog.
Yeah, Stone on style.
We should read that sometime.
Yeah,
I've
we
already
should have a
read
whole
it.
segment dedicated to fashion because we're just all really fashionable dudes.
Oh, shut up, Josh.
I think we
No, Josh.
should.
Josh is a fashion icon.
Yeah, I am.
Raider
He's,
sweatshirts all day, baby.
Raiders, A's, and Warriors.
Uh,
Newly
yeah, I think.
discovered blue whirl fire tornado burns cleaner for reduced emissions.
What does?
Newly discovered blue whirl fire tornado
Huh. That's trippy.
of engineering at the University of Maryland. So their discovery type of fire tornado they call the blue whirl could lead to beneficial new approaches and reduce carbon emissions and improved oil spill cleanup.
Huh? How?
Blue whirl evolved from traditional yellow fire whirls. The yellow color is due to radiating soot particles, which forms when there's not enough oxygen to burn the fuel completely. The professor of engineering and co-author of the paper Blue in the Whirl indicates there's enough oxygen for complete combustion, which means less or no soot, and therefore a cleaner burn.
Oh, okay, huh?
So, more scientific progress.
Oh,
Scientists are gonna save the day again.
Tesla also did a big major buyout recently. They bought out Solar City.
Uh huh.
They're just releasing a new solar panel. It's supposedly, I don't know if this is 100% true, but Livermore is one of the few cities that you can buy into it right now because it's in like beta stage.
I think it's cool that we can make fire more efficient in burning.
That's really something. What was the main application, like in cars or?
Well, it said for oil spills and for just yeah, I don't know. It says improved oil spill cleanup is a major one. That's like one of the main emphases in this article.
Oh, right, because you have to burn it off often to
Yeah.
fix. Right? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's tough.
Beyond the improvements of fuel efficiency and oil spill there are current few easy methods to generate a stable vortex in the lab, so the team hopes their discovery of the blue swirl can serve a natural research platform for the future study of vortices and vortex breakdown in fluid mechanics.
Huh. That's trippy. Don't really have a huge amount I could say on it though. I'm just don't got good resources on that. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, the Olympics started.
Nice.
Yeah. There's a 13-year-old girl from Nepal competing in swimming, and I hear the politics in Brazil is still on fire because pretty much half their politicians are being impeached. So it's kind of hectic.
Why are half their politicians being impeached?
What? Sorry, there was a big.
well, I have one. Apparently, Debbie Wasserman Schultz has a primary challenge.
Yeah, is that the Bernie guy supported by Bernie?
Yeah, and she's going to debate Canova, the guy, but she's only up by 8 points.
Oh wow. Oh, it's so. I'm really saddened by that. Somewhat by that poll that Paul Ryan was winning.
By 66 points.
Yep, it's over.
Yeah, well, I think there was probably a chance before Trump just completely, imploded.
His implosion was funny, and I think the nuclear comment, like my heart was with Trump just because I love chaos, but my heart has to take a stand somewhere, and someone not understanding why we shouldn't use nukes is probably a big one. That's like
Yeah,
where I draw the line.
Oh, but here's the thing about this is what it just says though. Paul Nalen, the guy who's running us, Ryan, raised $1 million.
Nice.
yeah, and
That
like
sounds like
Ram-
chump change though. The
isn't it
politicians.
like it's like a rural Wisconsin district too?
Yeah, but I Ryan will win.
Yeah, there's not going to be any big upsets. Do you
No.
think McCain will lose?
He could lose the general. There's a chance.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that'd be sad.
No, fuck
It's
McCain,
'cause
dude.
I'm allowed to like retro McCain in
Dude,
spirit.
no, McCain is an asshole. Like that guy was never real.
Come on, all politicians are assholes, man. You can't hold that
That's-
against them.
Not all politics, but McCain definitely.
Yeah, it's true.
Even the
McCain,
nice ones
yeah.
are assholes.
I'm
but
reading.
McCain built up his image as being a maverick. He was just always doing what was politically expedient for him, of course. But he built up the image to make it seem like he was not, which makes it a lot more annoying.
Right.
Oh,
And a lot of the positions and the ideals that he purported to claim, like when he blamed Obama for the Orlando shootings, like that's definitely
oh,
That was
damn!
a
I
little
didn't hear
too
about that one.
far.
That's bad.
yeah.
What else was I
Didn't
gonna
Ted
say?
Nugent do that too, or did he do something else?
Ted Nugent's Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played guitar though.
Yeah.
Actually, was
He's probably. You know what? Let's lock it in right now. Ted Nugent, Republican nominee, 2020.
No way.
that's
No way.
Sadly, possible. I don't know. I don't think it's possible, but
He could definitely be a Herman Cain type candidate.
yes, he will be the 2020 Herman Cain. I
Just
will
remember
vote-
2036 Joshua Lester.
Good God, the entire world would like be dead.
And if you're not dead by then, Nick, you might be my running mate.
I'll be 41.
Hey, man,
That or
gotta start somewhere.
Trevor could also be my running mate, but I think I'm just giving you the thing right now because you might be dead like after that.
You suck.
So I'm giving you like I'm putting you in line first just because of your mortality.
Thank you. I support this.
Yeah, I think we're all on board with this.
Hey,
I'll have
What
the
if-
best people.
at 40 years old though, I'm gonna be so huge.
That's what you're thinking about?
I'm gonna be massive, dude.
I feel that, man. I feel that.
Uh,
Yeah.
you could just pick me as like the VP candidate, and I could just be like muscle. Like I'll be like the bodyguard VP candidate.
Yeah.
That'd be
That
great.
Man, what else is there to go over? How long has it been going on for?
Only
Okay.
like 50 minutes.
Oh, we got plenty of time. Do you want to do the UK stuff I've wanted to do?
Yeah, do it. Go for
Sure.
it.
Yay!
Wait, can we start this off by the fact that I keep forgetting that Theresa May is Prime Minister?
Yeah, talk about Theresa May all you want and how you don't recognize that she's the Prime Minister.
Yeah, whatever. I haven't really looked to see how the polls have changed as far as the next election go in the UK with Theresa May as Prime Minister, but I'd imagine to see like that there would be a bump of some sort because they do general election polls like years out for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2020 election, UK.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. There's a huge surge for May right now against Labour.
Yeah, because Corbyn's,
Yeah, I mean that's the problem that Labour's had is their leaders are just poo-pooey.
Right.
I could not support Jeremy Corbyn.
What's wrong with Jerry Corbyn, man?
He's like a communist. He's like every Republican like criticism of Bernie if they were all true.
Uh,
Like he
That's
and he's
probably
and he's
worse.
bad with and he's bad with people. Like he's really bad with people.
well, I
Yeah.
mean, you don't need to be good with people to be a leader, right?
You have to be a prime minister. You have to
Also,
be good.
he also wants to
With at least
withdraw-
other politicians.
How
Jeremy
much is social intelligence important?
Nixon
he literally-
Nixon didn't really have social intelligence.
Yeah, but like Corbyn literally got elected in like a sheer fluke to the leadership of Labour.
Yeah.
Like him for prime minister just can't happen.
Right.
Especially now that the Scottish Nationals have all happened and all of Scotland's seats are owned by them. I mean, if they want to do a coalition, it'd be possible, but I think it'd be really hard.
Yeah, I'm looking at the polls right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna do.
Here's the thing: the 2015 polls were pretty inaccurate because they underestimated the Conservatives by about 4 points, which is pretty statistically significant as far as polling goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they underestimated Brexit too. So
yeah, I think probably a quick classic Trevor exposition. So England voted to leave the EU, so they switched prime ministers to the current person, Theresa May, and yeah, she's head of the centre-right party, the Tories, and the centre-left guy is Jeremy Corbyn, head of Labour. They're moving left, very left. So basically, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot with the previous government because prime ministerships normally you can call snap elections, have elections whenever you want, but now they're stuck in fixed terms.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, this is pretty big. The Conservatives are at 42%, and Labor's at 28% for the last poll from YouGov. That would be a pretty big swing in favor of the Conservatives, considering that David Cameron only won 36%, or the Conservatives only won 26 or 36% in 2015. That would be a loss of a percentage point for Labor. So I don't know how many seats that they would actually lose, but the Conservatives would definitely pick up seats from that.
Yeah, and they have a solid majority. So
well, solid being 4 seats.
They have a majority, man.
They have a majority. They don't really have
a lot of parties in the UK now, man.
The thing is the Conservatives don't have a solid majority, but they have a solid lock on the government right now.
Yeah.
They could definitely form another. Well, actually, let me take a look at this. Looking at the party breakdown, they wouldn't be able to form a coalition government, but they'd be able to form a minority government.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's not enough Lib Dems left, really. If the Conservatives lost about 20 seats, which won't happen.
Yeah, it won't happen though.
They won't lose. It'll be impossible for them to form a government, really, without having to bring in like a. I guess they could bring in the Democratic Unionist Party.
Yeah, those guys would support him.
But and I guess maybe the remnants of the Lib Dems.
You know the Democratic Unionists were actually pro-Leave?
Yeah, I think I knew that.
They were the largest party to be pro-Leave officially. Because the Tories were neutral.
That's kind of funny, actually.
Because they're Irish.
That really hurts their chances of, unionism. But whatever. The Northern Ireland won't leave the UK.
Yeah, I mean, unless the Brexit is actually like really solid, like all the way Brexit, which won't happen. If that actually did happen though, and they went all the way with Brexit and did like cutting off all the other ties, I could see Ireland switching. But right now, it's not.
I'm not even 100% sure Scotland will leave the UK.
Isn't Ireland kind of irrelevant though? Who gives a fuck about Ireland? They're kind of like Canadians.
There's only 4 million people that live in Ireland.
Yeah, but I mean, it's politics. It's out there.
Like how much? I mean, I guess it could be like a powder keg situation, but is it? It's not really, right? There's nothing.
Not more.
Yeah,
there's obviously there's still some level of animosity between the Catholics and the Protestants because I mean there's still a level of animosity in the United States between our different minority groups, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. What do you think about Corbyn's leadership challenge?
Oh, Owen Smith.
Yeah.
I don't think Owen Smith generally stands a chance, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a chance
either. Here's the thing: is there's so many questions that they can ask Owen Smith, and Corbyn is actually liked by the base of his party.
Yeah,
scarily enough.
Well, the thing with the Labor is the way they pick their leader, just the whole mass vote, is the fact that all these people paid like £3 to join the Labor Party, and all of them are just random pro-Corbyn people.
Also, Corbyn, well, I was going to say, Owen Smith, there's a question like, okay, if you wanted to be leader, why didn't you run last year? And people are asking that.
Oh, yeah, that's gotta hurt his chances.
Yeah, no, Corbyn will win. And if
Yeah.
Corbyn,
Although that's gonna be so weird, because like the motion in Parliament by the Labour MPs, like 80% of the Labour member of Parliament wanted him to go.
Corbyn is going to get his ass whooped in the next general election.
Well, so here's a question I have: can Corbyn just refuse to quit forever as long as membership supports him?
Um, yeah, but
Yeah,
it
because
wouldn't happen.
yeah, but I mean, he had a 80% vote of no confidence, and like he stayed.
Sooner or later, he'd like wind up at the floating on the River Thames. So,
That's my only. Yeah, that's the only
but
question.
the thing is, with defeats stack up, and the more you're defeated, and the more you refuse to go, like perception would not. You would think it wouldn't keep him in power.
Yeah.
So after he loses, he's probably gone.
Okay, so you think 2020 he'd have to leave?
If the election is in 2020 and not a snap election, yes.
Yeah. Well, they have fixed terms, and you need a 2/3 majority to call one, and Theresa May has made it clear she doesn't want one.
Yeah,
So it's just it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, there's no incentive really for a snap election right now.
Although one great thing about this new government is we have the greatest foreign minister of all time.
God damn it.
Boris Johnson, the former mayor of London, is like the king troll of the UK.
The funny thing about that though,
he's just bad at his job from like day one.
I don't get what like that's just I think that's Theresa May just having a sense of humor because that guy like okay. That guy is one of the most undiplomatic people in the entire universe.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason he got picked, I don't think it was a sense of humor. I think he probably told all the people in the leadership runnings, "Hey, I'll drop out if you promise to make me a cabinet member." And probably this is what he wanted for some unholy reason.
Yeah, I was pretty certain that Boris Johnson was going to be prime minister.
Yeah, he would have, and then he just dropped out. Maybe he just didn't want to be prime minister at this.
No, he got stabbed in the back by Michael Gove for sure.
Oh, yeah, the guy. Yeah, I'm so glad Gov didn't make it.
Yeah,
Gov is literally like a House of Cards character.
Yeah,
I never seen that show. Can you give me an elaboration on that?
He would
the English one is much better than the American one.
The guy literally murders people to become prime minister and like does all this like politicking crap in order to get power.
I see nothing wrong with that.
That's because you're an amoral asshole.
But you're a moral asshole, so I support you. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what other stuff's come out. Do you know when Rick and Morty comes back?
Oh, Rick and Morty! Oh, I can't wait for that to come back.
There was the rumor that it was coming back July 26th, but it didn't come back.
Yeah, I've heard this rumor it was supposed to be coming back like right now, and I'm like, well, where is it?
They had that leaked scene though. They had that leaked scene.
That wasn't a leaked scene.
That wasn't?
No, that was. Are you talking about the court trial case?
Yeah. I thought that was.
That wasn't a leaked scene. That was Rick and Morty actually going over. Like, that was a real court case in Georgia. That actually happened. It was just them impersonating the voices and reenacting it.
Oh, shit! Really?
Isn't that hilarious?
That's really good.
Yeah. No.
They nailed that.
I was
like, oh yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
That was so real though. That was a real court case that actually happened.
They nailed that.
Yeah, it was great. I didn't even realize that until after I watched it. Like, I had to look it up. Yeah. Yeah,
probably the other main TV thing that's happened is.
But wait, let's be honest though. The person that was on trial, that guy was a genius.
Yeah.
That's so. This is kangaroo court. Dude,
that phrase is what convinced me that It was a real leak.
Yeah, no, that was
Like
an
watching
actual,
it, it just felt like Rick and Morty.
well, it was the creators doing that, but they were doing it for
Right,
some sort of panel.
right.
But yeah, that was a real transcript from a real court case in Georgia.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
That
I was
makes me
gonna
really
say,
happy.
I was gonna say, at least in my social circles, the other big TV development has been the BoJack release.
BoJack.
Yeah, I'm so hyped for having to wait a whole year
Oh
for the new
Jesus.
season.
Here, you know what I went back and watched today, Trevor, was the Sextina Aquafina get that fetus video.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's so funny. That show is brilliant. That show
yeah,
is great.
they've gotten away with everything.
Definitely the second best cartoon on TV right now.
Rick and Morty's so good, man.
Rick and Morty's
It's because
probably
it's not just a funny adult cartoon. They actually have like real character development that slowly happens over the course of the show.
See, BoJack does too. The thing about BoJack is, like, the fact that it's animated is just to make it less soul crushingly depressing.
Right.
Yeah,
That's kind of like, I mean, Rick and Morty's kind of like that, except they have to animate it based on what they're doing in the
Rick and
show.
Morty's a lot more of an actual cartoon. BoJack is a lot more of a actual drama.
Right.
Serial. If we're saying they're both cartoons, I prefer Rick and Morty, but I think BoJack is probably like BoJack is one of the best shows I've ever seen, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I honestly think that BoJack should be nominated for Emmys. Like, I think BoJack has better kind of,
I don't give a fuck about the Emmys.
yeah,
I don't either, but I think it just for its sake.
yeah.
I think usually the way Emmys work is the last seasons usually they start giving out awards basically out of pity.
They did that with Mad Men. Like, John Hamm was fantastic throughout Mad Men, but they gave him the Best Actor award at the very last moment.
The Emmys are just
There's
another
there's a few exceptions though.
the
Like,
Emmys are just another big political thing, except for that industry.
there are some exceptions though. Like, what's his name? Well, why is his name escaping me right now? Breaking Bad.
God, I'm like two.
Uh, no, not Aaron Paul.
The guy who played the lawyer?
No, not Saul Goodman.
Saul.
No, Walt's character. What's the guy's name?
The actor for Walter White?
Yeah, why am I forgetting it right now? I should know this off the top of my head.
Cranston?
Oh, Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston.
Duh. Bryan Cranston is like 4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But that's like one of the best acting
If
performances ever.
what if Will Arnett won acting?
That'd be pretty funny.
Oh, no, I know what needs to happen. I'm calling it. This is what has to happen for BoJack Horseman. The last season, it needs to win a Golden Globe.
Oh, that'd be funny.
That would be so funny.
Why would I don't know. I don't think that's funny.
No,
So in season 1, there's a book written about BoJack Horseman, and the book wins a Golden Globe.
Uh-huh.
And basically, the jokes of the Golden Globes, like even less than other awards shows, serves no purpose
Right.
because it's like this weird mix of TV and movies,
Uh-huh.
and like nobody really takes it too seriously because they kind of award it to kind of random people sometimes. So the joke was that they gave it to a book. So if they gave it to a TV show, that'd be really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Although I really think Will Arnett deserves like a shit ton of recognition because like after seeing him in like playing Job and a lot of like the comedic stuff he does, like half the time I don't even realize it's him
Right.
because he's just so good at being.
they should do it for they should do an Arrested Development thing. In BoJack.
Yeah, supposedly in the new Lego Batman movie, they're gonna have an Arrested Development scene.
Arrested Development's gonna have another season 2.
Yeah, that's
Really?
pretty down the road though.
I
They're always
can't wait
making
for that.
issues. Supposedly, they're going to release a chronological edit of season 4.
Did I ever tell you what helped me decide I was going to go to Occidental College, Josh?
No, you never told me.
They were filming Arrested Development on campus during my visit, and I saw Michael Cera.
That's awesome. I mean,
It was great.
But I don't know. Why did they have to go to Occidental? Because
Occidental is where, well, it's not Occidental where Michael Cera went to school.
Yeah,
But
went to
that's where they
Irvine.
filmed it all.
Why did they just drive to Irvine? That's not that far.
Because Occidental College is prettier than UC Irvine.
Well, why don't they
UC
just say
Irvine.
it's Occidental? Like, what's the point?
Well, they also filmed a ton of other stuff at Occidental. They filmed Parenthood at Occidental.
Mm-hmm.
They filmed actually in Parenthood. It's pretty funny because they didn't get rid of the Oxy banners in the background when it was supposed to be like UC Davis. When you just look back and it's like, oh, that's Occidental.
That's motherfucking Occidental.
That's my school.
Yeah. When my
that's
last,
cool.
That logic did not let you pick a school that you liked, though.
My mind has generally warped it into me thinking that I did like it now. But
I
got-
like that.
yeah.
I got really lucky. I don't have buyer's remorse. I just have performance remorse.
I hope I don't get buyer's remorse for the college I go to.
Nah, you won't. I
don't
doubt
think so?
that. Nah.
What if I have buyer's remorse on my major?
It won't
you
matter.
You might have buyer's remorse on your major. It's a hard major.
Nah,
Yeah,
the hard
just
part
not
doesn't. Challenges don't scare me. What if I
Yeah.
just found out I don't like linguistics, though? That would suck.
Yeah, but like if you want to do stuff, if you end up, are you still talking about doing stuff in Japan?
Yeah.
Well, then it won't matter.
Yeah, that's true. I'm looking forward to starting my major. It's gonna be awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what the crazy thing is though? When I graduate from college, I will only have attended the school I graduate from for a total of like a year and 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I accidentally did while we were talking is that I've been playing Pokemon and I looked some stuff up in the middle of my matches because I'm in a tournament right now and I left it on the screen.
Oh, Josh, I came up with a brilliant way. Well, my cousin came up with a brilliant way. I didn't. I'm not smart enough for this.
Right.
But shut up. What you do if you want to hatch an egg, or just like make sure you get like just like wait stuff out, is take a little dime and insert it in the 3DS like beneath the pad, and just have the character find a place where it can go in a square and just keep turning without hitting anything, and you just do that and leave it on during the night for like 6 hours and it'll hatch.
For regular Pokemon.
I don't like to cheat though.
For
I hatch
regular,
all my own eggs.
Yeah, eggs don't take that long in regular Pokemon because you have a bike.
yeah, I know, but you put yourself on the bike and just leave it like that.
Yeah, but like
Time. If you want the Pokemon faster, it saves time.
yeah, it's not like if it's you could do that with Pokemon Go, that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna stick a dime in my actual bike, and that's gonna fix it.
Yup.
Actually, no, you might. There's a way. I saw people like put their like phone on a mechanical train and turned on the train, and it would just like spin around in a circle, and they just left it on during the night, and it would hatch.
Aw.
Wow.
Yeah, people are like smart and lazy as fuck.
Hey, that's
It's
how
smart.
all great inventions get made.
Yep. You want to be lazy, you need a way to do it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
What time are we at, Josh?
We are at. Let me check. We
This
are
call has been going on for an hour and 42 minutes.
Yeah, I know
hour
the
30
call.
minutes.
For
Hour-
you?
Hour 30 minutes.
Okay,
So-
me and Trevor's has been going on for an hour and 40.
I'm just saying how long the stream has been.
Oh yeah, hour 30.
Oh, okay. So we're nearing the end. It looks like
Yeah.
because like I'm at my cousin's house. I'm visiting people.
Oh, okay. So you gotta do stuff. So
Yeah,
I think an hour 30 is a good amount of time.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah. I got all kinds of stuff I could have talked about my trip and stuff, but it wasn't as interesting. There's a lot of random stuff I learned.
I'm excited for next year when I'm doing the podcast remotely from a foreign country. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it earlier then.
Yeah, we're gonna have to set
There's
up.
gonna be a big time zone difference.
Yeah, that's true.
Hopefully, if I move out though, for me and you, it won't be too big.
When are you planning on moving to DC?
Whenever I get a thing there.
Which could be whenever, right?
Yeah, I mean, Swellow's office has been.
Did I tell you that I went to the career center and like started talking to them about stuff? They're like, "Oh, thank God you came now," and I was like, "Oh, that's good to hear."
Yeah, don't be me. Don't
Yeah.
advice to everybody listening to the podcast. Go out as early as you can to find stuff.
Yeah. But I think we should definitely look into working on campaigns for the fall.
Yeah, I'll look into it next week. I don't know if the podcast.
I'm not really inspired to
About
work
it.
for anybody, but it would be fun and useful.
Yeah, I just don't know if. Yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
guys, another successful
I think
podcast.
that was good. I think that
We talked about Nick's mortality as much as ever.
God damn it.
I like that though. You know what? You know what episode I'm really looking forward to is episode 17. I can't wait
Why?
to do episode 17 on the podcast.
Why?
This
So
is a good number. Trust me, man. 17 is going to be the best episode we have.
Were you going to kill me in that podcast?
No, everyone should be hyped for episode 17.
All right.
Anyways, we're signing off now. Thanks for tuning
All right.
in, guys.
You're all great people.
Sign